Has your health been covered up? Today, it's Revealing Wholeness with Dr. Troy Munson, presented to you by Infinity Whole Health.
Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Troy Munson on Revealing Wholeness, where we kind of cut through all the stuff that we don't need to know and get to the heart of the matter when it comes to health conditions and what's the fix and where to go and what to do. And today is one of my favorite topics, the tongue. When people come in to see me, I will look at their ears, their tongue, their body, their skin, as well as ask them just really about every system in their body to try and get an idea of what are we up against, what symptoms are together, what are the big issues. You know, if I've got somebody with let's say like today we're going to talk about cracks in the tongue, and they say, well, yeah, my energy's off and my hair is lifeless and I'm not sleeping well and I might be on
melatonin or something like that.
Could be, yes, on some type of thing like that. But they also could be on Wellbutrin or, you know, some other anti-anxiety, or you're manic. You know, the bipolars, you know, the so common things that people get diagnosed with these days. And they're likely all related to the same thing. They could even have digestive issues. And yet all these symptoms meld into one typical deficiency. And so as we jump in here, this is going to be a two-parter. And if you listen to both parts, at the end of the second part, you're going to have a little bonus.
Oh, a bonus.
So, yeah, we're not just going to talk about the tongue, but we're going to throw in a bonus there, too, that you can look at. So the fun thing that I'll have people do is take a picture of their tongue. So if you're listening to this,
take a picture of your tongue.
Take a picture of your tongue so you can look at it. Or you can look in a mirror as you listen to this. But as you look at it, the first common thing I see on tongues is cracks. So people have a big, deep crack down the middle of their tongue. Some I've even seen where it literally looks like a second brain. It's so convoluted and cracked.
Wow.
It's almost scary. And what that is a raging B vitamin deficiency. And what does that mean? Well, B vitamins, when we lack them, our blood vessels start to swell because we can't get any oxygen to tissues. And so when we have swelling on the tongue, we now, it starts to collapse on itself as it gets more and more damaged, and now we see cracks forming. And so this is a long-term B vitamin deficiency. Unfortunately, some of you out there thinking, oh my gosh, I have cracks in my tongue, I need to go get B vitamins. If you run to a health food store and get synthetic B vitamins like a B complex or a super B complex, you're now getting a bunch of chemicals that were created in a lab, most likely from coal tar, that they can now pass off to you, the unknowing public, as B vitamins.
Oh, so synthetic vitamins are not really very good when you get right to the heart of the vitamin.
True, absolutely true. And ultimately, let's say I tell you to go run out and get B vitamins and you actually find real B vitamins. But if you don't put the hole in the bucket where the leak is, so to speak, you're just going to continue taking B vitamins the rest of your life instead of fixing the underlying problem. So when people come into me, not only am I looking at all these symptomatic stuff, and we can begin to correct those by correcting the deficiencies, and now we correct the symptoms, we also want to fix why they occurred in the first place. What was wrong with the diet? What was wrong in their life? You know, is there some traumatic mental stuff? All that kind of stuff kind of comes together. And that's really what it's all about when it comes to wellness care. So people say, well, what is wellness? It's really this whole person approach, because it's just that important that we really address everything. So I'll have women come in that typically have cycle issues where their periods are a mess, and I can fix them in probably 3 months. But if I don't fix why their cycle got out of sorts, and I just say, okay, now you're off all of your supplements, what's going to happen to that person after a couple more months?
We're going to go right back to it.
Exactly. And so we want to fix the cause as well. So we can say, hey, those cracks in your tongue are B vitamins, and we definitely want you getting natural Bs, which are in things like liver, nutritional yeast, you know, the things that aren't glorious and yummy, you know, eggs that are farm raised rather than store-bought, and these big industry eggs that are so pale yellow they don't have any nutrients in them. You know, the farm eggs, you break one of those open and it's like orange.
Boy, it's dark colored, yeah.
Yeah, it's just full of nutrients. So, you know, those are the areas that we're looking to get the Bs. And then the next one that I see a lot of is red spots on the tongue. Red spots are estrogen dominance or estrogen imbalances. So even men can have red spots in their tongue. But I'll see it, both men and women see red spots, and we know that, hey, their estrogen balance is not very good, and we've got to do something about it. For the men, we definitely need to support their endocrine system and ramp up testosterone and things like that, but also correct their diet so that they're not continually getting to this overweight area where they now become more estrogen dominant. And then we have women, because they produce estrogen in their body, it's very easy for them to be estrogen dominant, especially when their endocrine system is a mess because of stress, because of, we look in our environment. I know we talked about on the estrogen podcast that just about every chemical in our environment is estrogenic in nature. We call them xenohormones, but ultimately they're mostly estrogenic. And so here we are as men and women getting way over estrogen by even breathing in the air inside our house because of all the chemicals. The veneers on our chair, the dyes in our clothes, the carpet, the paint, our TVs, all the electronics that are plastics, all this is an estrogenic type of scenario. And so red spots we see frequently, and that's just a cleansing out of the system. It's a liver issue, so we're going to support liver, we're going to support kidneys, we're going to support gallbladder, all those things to begin to help the body rid itself of the excess estrogens that have built up in the system. And that can all be done as well. Next is kind of a scary one, because I'll see this on occasion, and that's like a red sore tip of the tongue. The more sore, the more damaged the heart is. And so if we see a red tip on the end of your tongue, that tells us your heart is really not good, and we need to be doing things sooner rather than later with something like that. And in our office, I'll have technology come in where I can monitor all 4 heart valves, and I want to certainly do a special podcast on heart sound recording and what listening to the heart and those beats and the vibration of those beats tell us in terms of deficiencies, how your liver's doing, how your adrenals are doing, what your vitamin deficiencies are, what your calcium levels, all that just from listening to the heart.
That's amazing.
It's really, really, really fascinating. And so those are things that we're going to be up and coming too that I can't wait to talk about. But for today, this is enough on the tongue, and so please join in next time on part 2 for the next part of the tongue and the bonus, which is going to be fun, something you can look at instantly and see if you've got digestive issues. So we're going to talk about that on next time. So until then, I'm Dr. Troy Munson, and thank you for listening to Revealing Wholeness.